Hey guys, this is Rocket Man Dan. Welcome to another episode of KSP on PS4, where today we'll be building an S.S.T.O. Now, a regular commenter of mine got in touch with me asking me to build an S.S.T.O, but in real time, no sped up footage. And I told him I haven't really built many S.S.T.Os, only a couple, but after a bit of rumination and re-watching a bit of Battlestar Galactica, I came up with this design inspired by one of the Colonial Vipers. So first I'm going to choose the Mark 1 inline cockpit. Nothing too special about that. And then I'm going to pop on over here to Aerodynamics, sort by size if I can. There we go, and want to engine pre-cooler. That actually comes with 40 liquid fuel already installed in it. And now I'm going to go up to fuel tanks. And I'm going to choose a rocket fuel tank, the FLT 400. I'm just going to change that to white so it matches in with the rest of the ship. Okay, Aerodynamics again. And now I want a ramp intake. There it is, it's this boxy looking one, adjustable ramp intake. Just there. Pop on over to structural. And I want the tri-coupler. There it is. Just like that. It's perfect. And now to power the ship, we'll need some more fuel and a couple of engines. So I'm just going to get these FLT 200 tanks. Let's see what happens if I put mirror symmetry on. Yeah, that's perfect. Well, actually, yeah, that's fine like that. And I want some rapier engines. Actually, no, I don't want to do it like that because I'll be wanting to add different things to different tanks. So if I just turn off mirror symmetry and add these individually, I'll leave a timestamp on the screen just about now if you don't want to watch the complete build, and you can just skip ahead to the launch if you like. Just going to add 3 rapier engines, just like that. And what else shall we get? Oh, we'll need some electricity. So, by the way, this is a completed save all the way through the tech tree. Everything's upgraded. So you can probably do this yourself if you've done all that as well, or you can just start a what's it called now? A sandbox playthrough if you like. But I'm just going to put a couple of these on the sides here, just so we've got power all the time. I think there. Yeah, that'll be fine just there. I'd like to move them in just a little bit if I can now. If I can get the direction right. Okay, that's too far, so it's L1 on left. So I'll just turn snap off and just L1 on left. Just clip it in just a little bit. No one's ever done this before. The first one to clip in one of these. Let's turn snap off and be able to place a part again. Okay, let's just pop on over to Aerodynamics. I'm going to grab one of these, the Delta Deluxe Winglet. Now you could use a tail fin if you wanted, but mainly it's aesthetics for me. I like the look of this a little bit more, because it looks a little bit more like a Viper's tail fin. Great, just like that. And I'm going to set it so it can only control yaw. Actually, whilst I'm here, let's auto strut everything as we put it on, I suppose, because we will need a bit of auto strut. Okay. When I said I wasn't going to fast forward through the footage, I may fast forward through me doing the rest of these. Okay, now that's over with, we can do it as we come along to them. Right then, what else do I need? I want some more fuel tanks after I put the wings on, because things can get a little bit messy if I do it that way around. So we're in Aerodynamics and I want the Delta wing. That's a small Delta wing. There it is. So let's turn on mirror symmetry and just pop a couple of these on as far back as we can. just for now. And now I want a couple of wing strakes. There they are. Just a couple of those, one either side. And also, I'm going to put the elevons on right about now. I'm going to use an elevon 3 and an elevon 4. So here are the elevon 3s. And I can just pop these on, just in that way. Let's see, try and get them perfect if we can. Come on. It's ever so difficult. There we go. I'm going to get the elevon 4s as well. And try and pop them on somewhere. About there, I'm saying. So the outer ones I want to do pitch and roll, and the inner ones only pitch, because it'll be very it'll be over controllable at that rate. Let's move these parts back. So we're going to turn on center of mass overlay and the aerodynamic overlay. If you can see, the aerodynamic overlay is kind of in front of the center of mass overlay, so we're going to manipulate these wings so that's no longer the case. Just move them back a bit. That's about right. About half of that ball is sticking out of that one. Okay, let's go on to place a part again. I'm using a keyboard as well. Honestly, if your console supports it, I don't know if the Xbox One does support it, but I know the PS4 does support it, and it's really handy for using the keyboard shortcuts when for when you're coming to play the game, for when you're building or for when you're flying. If anybody with an Xbox One out there wants to get in touch with me and prove me right or wrong, that'd be great, because I haven't got one myself. Okay, back to the build. Now, these next couple of parts I'm going to have a little bit of trouble with because I haven't got no attachment nodes for these. So I'm going to use the Mark 1 liquid fuselage. Sorry, the Mark 0, not the Mark 1. I'm just going to try and turn it on its end if I can. There we go. Because I want two of these, one stacked on top of the other. And I'm going to try and put it on that one. Come on. Let's have a see what we can do. Just like that. And I'm going to give it some nose cones on either end, because I'm going to attach these radially. There we go. Let's see if we can flip it round somehow. Just like that. Can we copy? Yeah, let's copy that nose cone. Oh, you probably can't see much because I can't. Okay. Who knows which way round these go, eh? Like that. There we go. Okay, let's try and grab this full thing. And I'm going to turn on radial symmetry for this. After I reset it. There we go. I'm going to turn on radial symmetry for this times 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. I'll try and make them look a little bit more even. I'm saying about there-ish. Let's go to the move tool now and try and move them down just a little bit. Okay, I think we can turn those off for a second. We'll get back to those later. So, what's that? Left is back. L1 and left is rotate that way. So up. Up is the way we want to go. So snap off, I think. And just, where shall we go to? Let's go to there and turn snap back on. So we can go back a little bit as well. Should we have a look at the center of mass and center of lift as well? Yeah, that's still fine. Yeah, I like the look of that. I don't know if I've said before, but this craft as well will be delivering a payload into orbit that can go quite far. Well, you know, relatively speaking. But it's only a little probe. Let's turn on mirror symmetry again. Okay, and just going to have one of these small docking ports just there like that. And what shall we attach to it? Oh, but before we do that, let's actually enable staging for that and disable the crossfeed. That's very important to disable the crossfeed. We're going to want a fuel tank. It's going to want a battery. This one here looks good. Okay, what else? We're going to want a reaction wheel. Now, none of this is necessary to make the S.S.T.O fly. You can skip these parts if you don't want to do this, if you just want to get into orbit. But I do find it quite nice that you're actually using your S.S.T.O for something. Now, is that on the right way around? Yeah, that's on the right way around. Okay, now let's use the rotate tool, because we're just going to cheat just a little bit and just rotate this like that. And now use the move tool. Which way? So left is left, up is over, so L1 and left, no, L1 and right to go down. So we're going to turn snap off and just try and move it down just so it looks like it's in a believable position, just like that. Snap back on and just move it over so it's a bit more centralized, just there I think. Let's also give it some solar panels, that'd be nice. It's going to need those. Radial symmetry, I think 3 solar panels, and turn snap on again. Is it on? There we go, it's on now for definite. Just, yeah, let's move it up a little bit. Just there, I'm saying. Yeah, perfect. And it's going to need a way to communicate with us once it's up there. So we're going to use the biggest one we can on it. And just put it just there and rotate it round. Just like that. It'll also need a decoupler because I'm going to put a nose cone on it. And we're going to flip it round so the decoupler goes away with the nose cone. There we go. And just grab a nose cone, one of these ones here will do. There we go. Put that on it. And a couple of engines. Where are we? Let's get these spiders. A pair of those. Not great thrust, but better than nothing. Let's see if we can get that central. Yeah, they look central to me. Okay, let's sort out this staging a little bit if we can. Drag those in there. Drag that in there and drag this full section down. See, it's already coming together. But now, just for aesthetics, that's all it is. My vanity, really. I just want to make it look a little bit more like a Viper. So I'm going to go into structural. Go right up here to this cubic octagonal strut. Turn off symmetry. Oh, what happened there? There we go. Just going to try and place it centrally. About there. And I'm going to use one of these nose cones. One of the ramp intakes. I'm just going to try and stick it to that octagonal strut. Just like that. I'm going to copy it all. With the strut on it as well. Because that will come in useful. And I'm going to rotate it. So rotate down, down, down. Perfect. And now use the move tool. I'm going to see if I can just place that in a little bit and down. So which way is down? No. There we go. L1 and left from this angle. Okay, and try and go back a little bit. Just there. I think it can go down just a fraction. So let's turn off snap and see which way it needs to go. Oh, L1 and down, was it? No. Okay. L1 and left. So just a fraction, just there like that. Yeah, I like the look of that. Oh, but it is a little bit over there. Let's see if we can just move it over. Just a little bit. So that's backwards and forwards. There we go. Just there like that. A little bit tricky using these tools. That's fine. And now we're going to turn snap back on and symmetry back on. I realise I did that back to front, but we'll just turn those on like that. And oh no, it's gone to that kind of symmetry. Let's change that to mirror symmetry. Which way's right? Okay, mirror symmetry again. It gets confused, bless it. There we go. Let's use the rotate tool. Rotate these inwards like that, and try and inwards again, I think. Yeah, and just try and spin them outwards a little bit. There we go. Now I'm going to try and move them down so it looks like they're matching those tanks. Okay, so which way is it? So too far, too far. So up, yeah, up is down, of course it is. And just try and move them back a bit. No, not that way. Right is that way. Okay, that's fine. Can we move them just out just a fraction? So that's forward, that's backwards, up, down. Okay. That's a little bit too far, so turn snap off, L1 and left. There we go. That looks about fine to me. But I think we'll need to rotate things out a little bit. So turn snap on. Which way is it? L1 and there, just like that. Oh yeah, that's perfect. I like that. Nothing's clipping through anything else, is it? No, that's good. Okay, let's go on placement. I just want a couple of, well, not a couple actually. I want four. I want four of these over the centre of mass. So, centre of mass is about there. Yeah, that's right. And I'm just going to use the move tool and see which way it goes when I press something. So up is down, right then. So let's press snap off and just ever so gently try and just clip them in just a little bit, just so they're a bit more flush with the body of the S.S.T.O. Can be a little bit tricky, but that looks like we've cracked it. There we go. Okay, I suppose we'll need a little bit more fuel. Little monoprop tanks. So we're going to grab these ones, turn mirror symmetry back on, and we're just going to try and let's turn that off, that centre of mass overlay. Let's just try and pop them here, just like that, and just so they're behind everything. Now that's looking pretty cool if you ask me. What else could we use? A ladder, that's always nice if Jeb or whatever pilot you want wants to get out. So I think we'll put it just there. I think there's nice, and we'll use the move tool again. This is what always gets me about building stuff like this. Oh no, I've grabbed the wrong thing. So I'm going to undo what I just did. Undo last. There we go. Whatever I just did, I undid it. So make sure I only grab the... There we go. Make sure I only grab that. About there, I think. Yeah, that's perfect. A little bit either way. Oh, we should make sure it opens the correct way. There we go. I suppose we should add some wheels now. Ground and small landing gear. Let's turn snap back on. Go under here. Just take it out just to there, I think. I want to turn the dampener strength and the spring strength all the way up because it's quite a heavy plane. I'm going to get the medium wheels. Are they the medium ones? Yeah, they're the medium ones. Let's turn on the centre of mass. Let's also turn on... No, we don't need the centre of air, do we? But we can get rid of that part, and we can turn symmetry on and snap off, which has a nice way of levelling up the wheels. Okay, so where do we want it? Just behind, I mean really just behind the centre of mass. It's a heavy ship, so just about there should do it. You'll know if I'm wrong because the ship will tip on its butt. So we want to go to spring strength, and turn these all the way up as well, just to stop any unnecessary bouncing. Now I suppose we should also get some air brakes on this. Where are they? Just here. And if you got snap off, they do tend to go on fine, but if you got snap on, they go all twisted. So turn your snap off when you put your air brakes on your wings. Yeah, that's great. Now, what else am I forgetting? Oh yeah, fuel priority. I did a video about that. I'll put a thing on screen about now. Okay, so I want to keep the weight in the front really. So I want this tank here. I want that set to -1. I want this tank here set to -2. There we go. And everything else can drain as it wishes, but these will be the last 2 tanks with fuel in. And that should hopefully keep the centre of mass forward. But I don't think this this craft does too well when it's out of fuel. But you know, like I said, I'm not great at S.S.T.Os, but I think I've done rather well with this one, and hopefully you will too, if you can just try and get round some of those obstacles with the rotate and the move tools. But I am going to go into actions, custom 1, and I'm going to make every engine switch mode on custom 1, just like that. And on custom 2, I want these 2 engines at the bottom here to shut down entirely, or turn on. Actually, not shut down. Where is it? I want to toggle the engine. That's better. I want to... Where is it? Toggle engine. Number 3. I want to toggle that engine. Because if I want, then that means I can just turn on the central engine, which I know it's a little bit higher than the centre of mass, but it is central. So I can just have 1 engine running, or I can have 2 engines running, or I can have all 3 all at once. And custom 4, I think that's only good for the ladder. So I'm going to toggle ladder, and something really out the way, custom 10. Oh, come on. I think my analog stick's breaking. Just there. Going to toggle antenna. Now I think that's everything. Let's give it a name. There we go. Nothing too original there, but Viper S.S.T.O is its name. Who's going to crew this? Jeb's in the pilot seat. I think we've got everything right. I'm going to do some auto strutting, and then I'll see you on the launch pad. Okay, here we are on the runway. Let's just do a few pre-flight checks. Tap those brakes on. Turn SAS on as well. I'm just going to open my thrust to weight. I know you've probably heard about how to do a launch with an S.S.T.O. You go to 1,000 meters roughly and wait to pick up some speed. But this craft hasn't really got the fuel to do that. But what it has got is a hell of a lot of power. So we're just going to go full throttle. We're going to pitch up to 30 degrees. As soon as we look, we'll stage, get to about 80-90 meters a second on the runway, and just basically pitch up, making sure not to hit those engines on the runway, and then just go hell for leather until we can't use air breathing mode anymore, and we'll switch those engines off, and then we should just glide into an apoapsis of, I'm guessing, somewhere between 70 and 80,000. So thrust to weight's on, and we'll turn on interior overlay as well. I'm explaining it now because I probably won't have time once I'm trying to pilot it. So let's stage, shall we? There we go, a nice steady launch. Jeb's looking around, he's looking quite happy. But I'm just trying to concentrate now, so I'm just going to start pitching up, watching those engines, fold the gear away, and just try and pitch up to about 30 degrees on the nav ball. There we go. Let's see if we can get a better angle on that, shall we? Okay, we're a bit skew with. There we go. Let's just try and level out, sort the roll out a little bit. I'm just going to try and keep it roughly there, maybe a little bit above that. just say about 30 degrees on the nav ball. As you can see, we're picking up speed quite fast now. Oh, not even at 2,000 meters yet. So I do trust this S.S.T.O so much, I'm not even going to look into my map screen until I turn the engines off. Just going to try and pitch up again. There we go. Just so it's just above 30,000. As you can see, the thruster weight's absolutely amazing. Let's see what it looks like from Jeb's perspective. Yeah, he's definitely going, wow, nearly 700 meters a second. The speed's just picking up ever so fast. Let's back out of here. And if you've noticed, in the top left-hand corner, the little mission clock is completely yellow. That means the CPU on the PS4 is struggling. Now, I find if you got a keyboard attached and you tap F11, which turns on your heat overlay, it tends to make it run just a few frames a second faster. And also you can see what part of your ship's heating up or not. But it does help just ever so much. I'm going to turn that back off now so you can see what it's looking like. As you can see, we're already getting some temperature gauges going. And if you look at the thruster weight just there in the left, you can see that's dropping now. So before it hits 0, we're going to turn the engines off so we can't use any of that oxidizer. We don't want to use any of that yet, because it's deadly important that we keep it all for our orbital incision burn. So there we go, I'll just turn the engines off now. And hopefully that should mean we've got an apoapsis above 70,000. Let's just go into the map screen and have a look, shall we? There you go, did you just hear the engine switch over as well? It's not exactly a very wide path, and it's a little bit inclined, but we can live with that. Oh, apo of 90,000. Yeah, I can live with that. That's not too bad. So let's add a manoeuvre at that apo, shall we? Now, this will lie to me and say I haven't got enough delta V. It can't seem to work it out correctly. But I know from trial tests this should have just enough delta V for an orbital incision burn, and then you know, it's hard to say, but between 50 and 200 meters per second left over to get back home with oxidizer. And then once you're in atmosphere, I think you've got something like 2,000 meters per second, something like that anyway. Not exactly very bright for Jeb. Let's lock to maneuver. Oh, there we go. Just needed to get the right angle. Let's have a little look at Jeb as well. There we go, get the interior overlay on. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this. I can live with this. And we've still got his probe on. We've got to launch that yet. And usually it's about a 20-second burn to get orbital. So I'm going to start the burn 10 seconds before my node, obviously. Now, I have done better at getting this at a more equatorial line in the orbit, but, you know, each time you try turns out differently. There's a lot of variables running here. Let's just speed up to this manoeuvre a little bit if we can. Like I say, about 10 seconds before and about 10 seconds afterwards as well. So I'll cut the time warp now, and I'm locked to manoeuvre. As you can see, it's staying red. But that should hopefully go away, and we should have enough fuel to do this with. It's just the way it calculates delta V, it just doesn't seem to work properly. I think it's because it's got all the liquid fuel and not enough oxidizer. I'm not 100% sure, honestly. We've got quite a high thruster weight, just over 4. So that's probably crushing Jeb's chest right about now. I'm going to get ready to slow that down. There we go. And just trickle it through. There we go. And we've got 152 meters a second left. Let's just check the Perry. 75 on the Perry and 90 on the Apo. Okay, we can cancel that maneuver. And now it's time to release a probe. And I'm just going to rotate just a little bit and then stage. just so it flings it away from us a little bit, we'll switch over to that probe and open that aerial. There we go, and that's got 1672 meters a second. That's enough to get to a Minmus orbit. It's enough to get to a Duna orbit, and probably an Eve orbit. I'm not obviously not circular, but you can definitely get an Eve capture with that. I'm sure of it. Let's switch back to our main ship, and there we go. And now I want to land, and I want to land as close to the KSC as possible, which, you know, isn't always easy. What I'll do is I'll fast forward and just until it's the right time, and I'll probably just cut to that. Okay, now here's our target area just here. See this impact crater here? I'm definitely not the first one to figure this out. I'm not the origin of it. But if you do a retro burn, just about in the centre of this, you should land somewhere near the KSC. So let's switch back to our ship. Turn on our thruster weight information. Just so we can see it coming up now. I would like to be a little bit more equatorial. Let's turn RCS on and face retrograde. We've got it, so we may as well use it, eh? There we go. Can we see Jeb? No, we haven't got interior overlay turned on. Interior overlay. There he is. Just glad to be getting home. Okay, let's keep an eye on the Perry. 75. What was the APO again? 90. Okay then. I'm going to try and get this down as low as I can. Probably, you know, somewhere about 5,000 I'd like. I don't know if I've got enough Delta V to do that, but we'll see. I suppose I should start about now. Oh, that's it. Got 38 meters a second left, but I'm quite high now, so hopefully that should be fine. Let's turn around to prograde, shall we? Try and spin round a little bit. Yeah, I really do like the look of this ship. It's actually one of my favourites I've ever built. I hope you build it as well and tell me what you think of it when you fly it. Just turning on the brakes there so the air brakes pop out, but we've really got to keep an eye on these. You know, they can overheat so easily. So let's just fast forward until we hit Atmo, shall we? Yeah, I definitely think we're coming in a bit too fast. There we go. I'm just going to point down. Well, I suppose radial in, you might say, but not entirely. Somewhere between prograde and radial, and about 30 degrees on the nav ball again. And we'll just see how this goes. Let's physics warp this, and hopefully nothing explodes, because it might just do that. See, they're already getting temperature bars. Well, one of them is anyway. Oh, I'm a bit all over the place coming in on re-entry. Let's try and level this out a little bit. Okay, it's quite difficult to control. Let's turn RCS off, eh? That might help. Pack those brakes away now, because I think we're going to use the ship as a brake. And I'm going to face, let's just have a see. Oh, SS was turned off, that was why. Okay then, let's just face anti-normal. No, actually, let's face normal. And twist around this way because we're coming in an inclined orbit. You can see the heat things are getting to now. Let's just turn on that overlay and see what's happening. Something's overheating. Okay, yeah, that's not good. Let's face prograde then. That might help things out just a little bit. There we go. Couldn't tell what direction we was coming in at. And we're just going to turn stability assist on. This definitely isn't my forte. Rockets are my thing, but you know, everyone's got to try, I suppose, haven't they? And this is my try at an S.S.T.O. You know, you can probably go online and just try and find ones other people have built, but I just thought, you know what, I'll give it a go myself. Now let's have a look at that clock, see if it changes if I press F11. It's completely yellow now. Oh, there we go. It's green now, so green is good, yellow is slowing down, and red is really slow. So if we turn the overlay on, it means it's having an easier time. It doesn't have to show me all those aerodynamic visualizations. So I suppose that's good. And there's the KSP content. There's the mountains just behind the Kerbal Space Center. So I'm just going to try and pitch down a bit. Oh, no, I'm not going to pitch down. Let's try pitching up, because I just want to try. I really want to try and slow down, but I'm not going to open my air brakes because it's they'll just blow up straight away. They can only be opened once. I don't know. Once we reach 1200 meters a second or so. Once we're going a lot slower than we are now. I really would like to slow down though. What's heating up the most? It's mainly the front, and no, that's everything's fine. It seems to be, except now for the ramp intake. Let's see if we can just try and tilt just a bit that way. Oh, it really doesn't want to slow down. Maybe if we just tilt forward just a little bit, if we can, pitch forward. Oh, something wants to explode. Something really wants to explode. I think it's these ramp intakes just here. I think they're the things that want to explode. But we're definitely coming in a bit hot. It'd be nice to try and slow down somehow. But if we open the air brakes, we've had it. We can see the KSC just there. Let's try spinning in all directions, and I'm just pulling back on the analog stick just to try and see if that just spreads about all of the heat we're getting. Try and make it a bit even. Something's definitely gonna go wrong here. I can feel it. Got heat gauges popping up left, right and centre. Okay, what can we do to try and alleviate some of this? There we go, that was nice. See it slow down just a little bit then. There we go. That's a lot better. Let's turn off this heat overlay now. Wow, yeah, we're definitely coming in fast. You can tell the frame rate's dropped as well. But we're slowing down a lot now as well. We're only going 1000 meters a second. We can see the KSC. Let's actually switch those engines to air breathing mode as well. Let it calculate something for that. But you can see what having that inclined orbit did to us. It really did affect us. Because we've come way over here. Instead of passing over the mountains in the usual way. There it is. I can't believe it. I'm quite proud of myself here. Let's just try and level this flight out and see if we can get a landing at the KSC. It does tend to want to pitch down, but we'll try and see if we can stop that. Let's actually change the altimeter to above ground level. That would be nice. There we go. I'm a little bit of trouble with the frame rate as well. If I was just playing it without the video, I'd just leave on that. I'd leave that heat overlay on. But it's not really fair on you. So let's just try and. I mean, we're heading straight for the KSC here. Let's see what Jeb's looking at. Yeah, we're pitching down just a little bit. What's the airspeed on that? 220 above the surface. Well, that's dropping quite fast. Oh, wrong button, L1 and R3. There we go. I suppose we could give the engines a little bit of a trickle, but you definitely don't want to use all this fuel you've got, because then the centre of mass shifts behind the centre of lift, and if that happens you'll just drop like a stone, like a ton of bricks really. Can we speed this up just a little bit, just give it a quick blast. There we go. And I'm just going to shut those engines down. You can already see how fast we're going with those Mach forces on the aeroplane. Well, on the S.S.T.O, it's not an aeroplane, is it? It's capable of getting into space and back again, as this video proves. Let's just turn off both of those engines. There we go. That's it. They're not providing any thrust anymore. Suppose we can start descending just a little bit, and then if we need them, we can use the air brakes for when we're coming in for a real landing. But I don't want to descend too quickly. Just try and use yaw to pull us over just a little bit. I don't think I'll land exactly on the runway, but anywhere in the KSC is a win in my book, honestly, because this is definitely something new to me. Like I say, well, I like rockets, hence the name, but S.S.T.Os can be quite fun as well, as I've learnt from making this video. And I don't think I would have done it without that suggestion from one of my regular commenters and subscribers. It really was the kick in the pants I needed to do this video. Let's just turn air brakes on, turn the wheel brakes on as well. Coming in for a nice soft landing, hopefully. There we go. Brakes off. We don't want to flip over anymore. I think we can just coast on up to the runway. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Okay. Thanks very much for watching. If you'd like to like, share, subscribe, maybe leave me a comment, that would be great. See you next time. Bye bye.